Hello and welcome to your in-depth horoscope forecast for September. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. That means every time I release a video, you'll get an alert. Now also, if you'd like to ascend above Zodiac sign astrology and embrace natal astrology based on your time, date and place of birth, please check out my special offer of a 12-month forecast and a character analysis and get 30% off. Please see the link beneath this video for more information. Hello Virgo and welcome to your in-depth forecast for September. An exciting month, not least because there's a new moon in your sign on the 7th. But do you know, this is a new moon with a lot of extra verve and zest. And that's because of the role of Uranus, which embraces your sun in a trine through the first 10 days of this month. Uranus is about change, it's about freshness, can be about truth, but in the 9th house, as it is in your sister Earth sign of Taurus, it's very much about your belief systems, your higher values, and it can be about travel. Now we know travel has been limited for a lot of us over the last couple of years because of the COVID outbreak. And Uranus is about spontaneity, so there may have been times when you felt really penned in during that time. I know that's an emotion that many of us have had, but it may have been quite profound for you. But of course, change happens in lots of different ways. We can change our outlook, we can change our philosophies, we can change our immediate environment, we can change our interests, we can change how we communicate with the wide world. We don't have to physically travel to do a lot of those things. We can do them from the comfort of our home. And I think a lot of excitement has been manifesting itself since March the 7th, 2019, depending on where your sun or inner planets are in the sign of Virgo and whether they've been connecting to Uranus in its early stages through its journey through the sign of Taurus. So the first 10 days of this month, expect a real zinginess around your affairs, and there could be a sense of new beginnings, and that change may really be very positive for you. You know that old maxim that change is as good as a rest? Well, I think that's the one that could really be ticking your celestial boxes, because on the 7th the sun's angle to Uranus is very, very close. But it's not just about that, Virgo, because Mars is in your sign as well as this month kicks off. And Mars is in the first house can be about being more risk-taking. Now you can be somebody who likes to stick with what you know because you like routines, you like patterns because it makes you feel comforted. Mars is about doing something a little bit more daring. And Mars is forging in the first 10 days of this month an amazing link to Pluto. And Pluto, of course, is fundamentally about change, but also power. Now then the Sun replicates that trine to Pluto, replacing Mars in week 3 of this month. And the Sun forging a trine with Pluto is one of the most radically important aspects that any of us can experience. And of course, again, it depends if it's exactly on your Sun or any of your inner planets, or Pluto is. But if it is, the need to alter some part of your existence is going to be incredibly compelling. Now, concurrent to all of this, you have Venus and Mercury, your ruler, in your second solar house. Very much about how you manage your resources. But Venus can be very lucky for you in this area. It does also forge a great link with Saturn in the early part of this month, and your penchant for detail, organisation and practicality can come back to you in spades. What's not to like? Well, just that Venus also forges a rather awkward link to Pluto across the same set of days. So there could be someone in a romantic environment that you're really strongly drawn to, or there could be a financial opportunity, but there could be a bit of a catch. It's not because anyone's necessarily being sinister, although it's possible. It's more just be worldly in your approach to risk, whether it is about intimacy, sex, or splashing cash. Now, we also have on the 10th Venus moving from your sector of resources and into your sector of everyday communication. Venus loves being in the third house. It's very flirty. So you could find yourself chatting to the neighbours if you've moved, the new neighbours. There could be some kind of gathering with siblings or people that you spend a lot of time chatting to, and it can be very uplifting indeed. Now on the 18th, Mars moves into your second solar house, replacing Venus. And Mars, of course, is about desire. So that moving into the second house wants you to feel more justly rewarded for your talents. But it also can see you wanting to enjoy the good things in life, whether it's calorific goodies, some nice luxurious goods, or if you're someone who's a bit more rustic in your approach, like I am, I get my buzz out of organic vegetables. And if you like to grow your own or harvest some fruit and make your own wine, Mars in the second house can be wonderful for all of that. But of course, Mars in Libra is about communication. So communicate your need to improve your lot financially, but also communicate to yourself your self-worth too, because Mars is asking you to big yourself up. Nothing wrong with that at all. But on the 19th, Mercury, your ruler, does go into shadow. Now this is the period precluding the retrograde when it really slows down, and this is the point it will get back to next month in October when it reaches the end of its wind backwards. Well, this is the point that it gets back to preceding the actual retrograde itself. So I think anything to do with marshalling those resources will take a degree of care. But if anyone can demonstrate precision, it is you. Now there's a full moon that occurs on the 20th. And this really, for you, is about relationships, because you're wanting to focus on what's really important for you, the individual. But if someone's not really getting your direction of travel or how much excitement that this month is creating thus far, over the next couple of weeks, there could be a bit of a chasm that is forged between you. It may not be a complete ending or falling out, but it's more you're wanting someone to recognise that you're altering your world for a larger reason than just that relationship. And once we have the sun moving on the 22nd into the sign of Libra, and we have the autumn equinox, and we begin the third quadrant of the astrological year, so it's a very important day. It's known as an earth point, very important day in the Western tropical zodiac. This is you really wanting to activate a sense of greater security around the foundations of your world, with Mars there as well, and the shadow Mercury. You're wanting to be taken seriously for all that energy, creativity and flair that you've been demonstrating earlier in the month, and quite right. But Mercury is challenged by Pluto in the last phase of this month. Pluto, remember, is in the part of your horoscope to do with demonstrating passion. It's about love. It's about your need at a very deep level to have some deeper meaning to it. Can't just about being dutiful, which is, Virgo people do dutiful to the cows come home. There needs to be more to life than that, and that's what Pluto's saying to you. But there's a bit of a conflict between Pluto's push for you to go for that and Mercury in the second house, thence in retrograde from the 22nd, 7th, which is asking you to think about how much things cost. So just at the end of this month, you may have to balance Mars's thrust to spend, gorge and enjoy and speculate with Mercury and Pluto's need to just trim back and be a bit more sensible. But if anyone can be sensible in the zodiac, it's you. But what you don't want to be is sensible to the point that you're not really experiencing life in a very real, exciting and passionate way. And that's what the month of September gives you an amazing opportunity to encounter.